You are listening to the Tricorder Transmissions and 5-Year Mission, Episode 11. And now, here are Craig and Jeff.
Corbomite, an alloy, weapon, and device. Space travelers take our advice. It's indestructible Corbomite for more than 2 centuries.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to episode 11 of What Are Little Songs Made Of? This time on the show, we're going to be talking about the Corbomite Maneuver. And to start off, here's Patrick talking about the writing of the track.
I actually had another song idea before that, sort of more going back and forth between Kirk and the alien with the sort of whole game of chess idea. And I had kind of written a little bit of that first. And then while I was doing that, I came up with this idea to do this sort of joke advertisement. And the more I worked on the two, I liked the advertisement so much better, and thought it was more entertaining and more fun to play. And so I eventually just kind of scrapped the other thing and went with that. And it was also the first one I did where it was kind of breaking with the formula. Where it was the last one I wrote, I think, for year one. And so like 3 previous, I had kind of focused on main aspects of the episode, and that one is a little bit more left field, and it was really fun to do.
And it was kind of refreshing to hear the demo when it came and be like, okay, yeah, we can do something left field and different.
A little different
and it still works.
From just a straight ahead song, yeah. And I've often said that my ideal job would be to write jingles, and so it gave me the chance to do that.
I remember when I got the demo and listened to it, I remember Patrick was upset that I had already written a Mud's Women song because his favorite character is Harry Mudd. And when he sent out the demo to this, and I heard that Leo Walsh was in the song.
Right. It was my way of fitting Mudd into a song because I missed him in the other song.
So this one is one of your usual live rotation songs.
It's not one of the most played, but we always have fun playing it. We break it out every now and then.
It used to be.
It used to be always in the regular rotation.
It's good because it's fairly short too, so we can kind of just stick it in there whenever we need something.
Now, how many different people actually sing on this song in terms of the backup vocals?
Everyone but Andy.
Yep. Oh, okay. All right. And was that something you planned on in the demo stage, Patrick? Because I really like the vocal interplay on that song.
I do too. It has a very sort of 50s jingle kind of quality to it. I don't know that we planned it that way. It just, that seemed to be the direction it was going. So we just tried different things. And
I remember that we started talking about that part at the end where we all say our parts. And,
right.
Yeah, and that I don't remember. I don't think that you planned on that.
That part I actually had that idea to have everybody do a line at the end. But
you did plan
I did want to do that, originally. I was thinking more of the backing vocals during the choruses.
I remember I did a backing vocal for the choruses, and Patrick had me take it out.
Isn't it in there? I thought it was just lower in the mix.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was super fun. And as we had mentioned before, I did the speech on the recording, the advertising speech, but when it came to doing it live, I couldn't play the guitar chords and do the speech at the same time, and so Chris started doing the speech.
That speech is hard enough to do on its own.
Right. But it made sense, too, because Chris was doing the harmonies throughout the rest of the song, so it made sense for us to switch off on that.
And only once live.
Although I did a better voice.
I think I do it differently every time.
You do.
Well, I've tried it. Sometimes we've played it a few times where it's been a little faster.
Yeah, which makes it much more.
Andy comes rocketing out of the gate on that one, and and so we get to the speech, and I'm just like, just flying through it. I know.
You're like the Micro Machines guy.
So I've actually tried to practice it, doing it as fast as I can,
right,
from time to time, just to see, just so if that comes up. And I've done it I don't know. I always try to throw in some kind of variation whenever I'm doing it. Just
You try to.
right.
Yeah, just like I try to do variations on my lyrics.
Quiet.
It's all intentional.
You're showing too much behind the curtain.
Oh,
Pay no
yeah,
attention
you're-
to the man behind the curtain.
You're right. On my songs, I intentionally sing slightly off key.
sometimes. Okay, full disclosure. Sometimes the variations are not intentional, and sometimes I just think, well, okay, I'm gonna try something new, and then I start doing it, and because I'm doing it intentionally differently, just it all goes to hell, and I can't remember what I'm supposed to say. So I really have no plan.
We should mention also, this is one of the first songs we added props to. We all started wearing the big bushy mustaches.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was gonna mention, but I think like we actually
We got
only
choreography
did
for
it
that song too.
once.
Well, we
where
had
we
them.
all had the mustaches.
I think, yeah, we kept.
And then we, like,
one of us
lost
would lose their
3 of them,
mustache.
and it's never happened again.
I remember
One
Find it
show,
again.
we
I remember
all had
finding
the
2 or 3 of
mustaches.
them in like the bottom of a merch box one time. Or something.
We had one show. It was. I think it was.
Was it
It's
Starbase?
like.
Starbase.
Was it Starbase or
Yeah.
Incon?
No, it was in
Starbase.
I think it was Incon because we
It was
all
Incon.
had the mustaches, and we actually because I started in practice just started doing this little run kind of thing.
Yeah, the
when I'm
run.
playing.
Choreography.
And so,
That's
and so Mike started doing it, and we convinced Patrick to do it. So we have this recording,
Well,
this video. Where
Right.
Well, and-
we're all
and-
doing this
but the
run except for
difference-
Patrick, and then
No,
when I'm doing
no,
the speech,
Noah does
that.
Patrick's
Then I
doing it all
run.
by himself.
Noah's on the keyboard doing it, but he can't move around, so he's just like bouncing up and
Yeah.
down.
It's like we're all on hamster wheels.
And Patrick couldn't do the run and sing at the same time, so he's singing and the rest of us are running, and then he would join us when he stopped singing, and then after a while we thought it'd be funny to just stop doing the running thing when Patrick gets to the
Just
part.
Patrick.
So then Patrick starts running and we stop, and then so he looked like an idiot.
Well, and that was when you had long hair too, so like your
I did.
hair's all
Oh, yeah.
flowing.
It was. Yeah.
It was that's a. Actually, I think a little bit of that is on
No.
our first Kickstarter video. I
Yeah,
put a little bit of that.
I kind of liked that. No, I didn't feel like you were
No,
making me look silly. I felt like we were all looking silly.
It looked
yeah, we look pretty silly in that song.
That's
Like
actually
choreography.
that's one of my favorite songs to do when we're all like doing just into it and being goofy because it's kind of a goofy song.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, not to take away from it.
What do you mean by kind of?
Yeah, but it's it's one of those where we can actually do something all together and it doesn't look completely stupid. It looks like it belongs there. And it's hard to do. That's hard to do that with a lot of songs.
when we were learning the song before we recorded it, I just remember how much trouble we had learning the timing of those
Right.
parts at the end,
Right.
because we would all get it right. So it'd be like, it's incredible and invincible and impervious and destructible.
That was me, right?
Everybody had to be paying attention, which is unusual for us.
So, Patrick, when you were doing the recordings for the Leo Walsh speech in the studio, did it take a lot of takes? Was it tough to get through?
I think I did it on the demo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it on the demo, so I had practiced it quite a bit.
What was the question?
How
Was it hard
how
to do?
hard it to do,
studio.
how hard the speech was to do.
Oh yeah, and this
Yeah, when he recorded it, I think he only did 2 takes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I practiced that one ahead of time. That was back when I had lots of free time.
once you get it stuck in your head, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, well, I had practiced it for the demo, and so I think I was.
We also
pretty
had
tight.
multiple takes of the end that were variations. That because you did the gunmetal blue, candy
Yeah, that's
apple
right.
red,
Oh, yeah.
and the
That's
classic
right.
starship
Yeah.
gray, but you also said
There were some other ones, yeah.
some
alternate ones.
other ones. I can't remember what they are now.
Yeah, that's I do that ending when we do it live, and
Yeah.
oftentimes I'll
Throw in other things.
forget what I'm supposed to say and throw
I
something
think,
different.
we had like 3 different versions of someone give me a Tranya.
Yeah, I was going to
that
say,
we
I
had
think
to pick from
that
or
was. I think
something.
that was the thing that took us the longest. Was just the somebody get me a Tranya at the end of the song.
Best
Which
take of
inflection do you like the best?
I love that because that that wasn't playing in the original, was it?
the
That just-
Tranya wasn't in the original.
Yeah, that just came about through recording. So that was one where we had the demo and I'd heard it for months, and then we got the first. I mean, we don't, we're not always all together for recording. So, we got that the first mix of it, and Patrick had done that, and I was like, "Oh, that's great!" So it was one of those little things that
They made such a big
about.
deal about Tranya in the episode. It really needed to be in there somewhere.
Those little gems you get in recording.
Awesome. So, any final thoughts on the Corbomite Maneuver?
No.
It's just a fun song.
The Corbomite Maneuver was one of my early favorite episodes when I was a little kid. So when I was first getting into Star Trek, so I was happy to write it.
There's no episode on TV that had a creepier Clint Howard.
And that about wraps it up for this week's episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of? Tune in next Wednesday for our next installment. If you want to catch up with us on Facebook, you can do so at facebook.com/the Tricorder Transmissions, on Twitter at TTT_pod, at 5-Year Mission's website at 5yearmission.net. And as always, thank you for listening.
Explorers take our advice. It's incredible and invincible and impervious and destructible. Corbomite.
Now available in gunmetal blue, candy apple red, or classic starship gray. Somebody get me a Tranya.